The after effects of the crash are still being felt in four important ways. Some markets are still not working in the interests of ordinary people. Employment is up, but too many people haven't had a decent pay rise. The deficit is down, but achieving that has been painful. And our economy is growing, but some communities have been left behind. And that's why some people still feel that our economy isn't working for them. And our mission as Conservatives must be to show them that we can build an economy that does. Now, in Liverpool last week, all Labour offered were bogus solutions that would make things worse. Ideas that might seem attractive at first glance, but which would hurt the very people they claim to help. Now, their flagship announcement was a case in point. It would mean the government effectively confiscating a tenth of every company with more than 250 employees. Workers wouldn't become shareholders, and much of the income generated would end up with the government. They dress it up as employee ownership, but it's a giant stealth tax on enterprise. It would... It would slash the share prices of British businesses, hitting anyone with a private pension. It would make the UK an unattractive place to invest, driving away business, destroying jobs. The same is true of their nationalisation policy. They want our railways and utilities to be owned entirely by the government. But when you nationalise something, people pay for it twice. Once when they use the service, and again every month through their taxes. Investment in them goes down because when governments are setting budgets, they'll always choose schools and hospitals over reservoirs and railways, so people get a worse service. Even some in the Labour Party admit their programme of nationalisation and their endless expensive promises would cost £1 trillion. That's right, £1,000 billion, the cost of Labour. And that's not government money, but your money, because Labour would have to pay for it by raising taxes higher and higher. Now, of course, everyone should pay their fair share. But when you raise taxes too high, businesses can't afford to invest. They can't afford to take on new employees. Eventually, they can't afford to operate here at all. They move abroad, create jobs in other countries, pay taxes somewhere else, and leave us poorer. And Labour would also have to increase borrowing again. We already spend more each year on debt interest than we do on our schools. After all the sacrifices we have made, Labour would take us back to square one. And these ideas won't help people who are struggling. They will hurt them. Hurt workers whose jobs would go as businesses left Britain. Hurt pensioners whose savings would be devalued. And hurt young people whose future Labour would mortgage. But however bad the Labour approach is, we must do more than criticise it. We need to show what this Conservative government is doing to address people's concerns. First, we need to make markets work in the interests of ordinary people again. That's why we toughened up our corporate governance rules. We're giving workers a stronger voice in the boardroom. We've changed the rules on bonuses, so bosses are rewarded for long-term performance, not short-term profit. It's why we're, with the gig economy changing how people work, we're changing our employment rules, so new technology can't undermine workers' rights. It's why we introduced the energy price cap, announced at last year's conference and in place for this winter. It will stop energy firms charging their most loyal customers unfair prices. Any other companies charging their customers a loyalty penalty should know we will take action. Because we put the interest of consumers first, we've also announced a fundamental review into our railways. Since privatisation, investment in the network has gone up, safety has improved, and more people are travelling by rail than ever before. But on some routes, the service has not been good enough. We will fix that. And while we do so, we'll bring in a new system of auto compensation, so that when your train is late, you won't have to waste more time getting your money back. Last year, I made it my personal mission to fix another broken market, housing. We cannot make the case for capitalism if ordinary working people have no chance of owning capital. To put the dream of home ownership back within their reach, we scrapped stamp duty for most first-time buyers. And over 120,000 households have already benefited. We've helped 500,000 people onto the housing ladder through other schemes like Help to Buy. And this week, we've announced that we will charge a higher rate of stamp duty on those buying homes who do not live and pay taxes in the UK, to help level the playing field for British buyers. And the money raised will go towards tackling the scourge of rough sleeping.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.